Hey, I'm Creech. This is Creech and Cars, and today I'm going to be going over the top 10 fastest sedans in the world right now in 2022. This is my first top 10 list, so let me know if you like these kinds of videos and I can make more of them. Also, for this list, what I mean by the word fastest is top speed, although I will also mention some 0 to 60 times and lap times. That's what determines the ranking on this list is top speed. Alright, let's get into it. Starting off the list with a top speed of 186 miles per hour is the Mercedes-AMG E63S. The E63 is equal parts luxury and sports car with a wonderfully crafted interior and good looks on the exterior. Underneath it has a 4.0 liter twin turbo, or as Mercedes calls it, the biturbo V8 that puts out 603 horsepower. It goes 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds and makes it around the Nürburgring in just 7 minutes and 27 seconds. At number 9, we have another German sedan with the BMW M5 CS with a top speed of 190 miles per hour. The M5 CS has a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, and while the base M5 puts out 600 horsepower, the competition sport trim bumps that up to 627, helping it get to 60 in 2.6 seconds, and it gets around the Nürburgring in 7 minutes and 29 seconds. At number 8, we have another BMW that also tops out at 190 miles per hour with the M8 Grand Coupe. We do have some other cars like this on this list, so I do want to mention here, some people call this car a four-door coupe and might not really consider it to be a sedan. Four-door coupe is an oxymoron, and I'm keeping those on this list. The M8 is pretty much the same as the M5 in terms of performance, as the same twin turbo 4.4 liter V8, and it accelerates to 60 a little slower in 2.7 seconds. It's also a little more expensive, and I do think it looks much better. It's a lot roomier as well, especially in the front, on the inside, and a little more luxurious. At number 7, we have the first non-German car, and in my opinion, this is the first real surprise on this list, with the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. This has a top speed of 191 miles per hour, and it's also worth noting that the Quadrifoglio is by far the cheapest option on this list so far, starting at a little under 80,000. It is a 2.9 liter twin turbo V6 that puts out 505 horsepower, and it can get to 60 in 3.8 seconds. So it's not the quickest, but it can get around the Nürburgring in 7 minutes and 32 seconds. It is a little smaller and less luxurious than some of the previous cars on this list, but it is a little more unique. I do like the design, and I think the Quadrifoglio is definitely an underrated bargain. At number 6, we go back to the Germans with the Mercedes-AMG GT63S. This is another one of the four-door coupes, but like I said, I'm keeping those on this list. It has a top speed of 195 miles per hour, and I do think it's one of the better looking cars on this list, especially depending on which color it is. It shares the 4.0 liter twin turbo V8 with the E-Class, but it gets a little more horsepower with 630, and it gets to 60 in 3.1 seconds. While it's not the quickest sedan in the world, it does have the fastest Nürburgring lap time of any sedan ever, taking just 7 minutes and 23 seconds to complete the track. Going to number 5, we have yet another German car with the Porsche Panamera Turbo S. It is a 4.0 liter twin turbo V8 that produces 620 horsepower, helping it go from 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, 0 to 100 in 7.2 seconds, and it tops out at 196 miles per hour. You can also make it around the Nürburgring in 7 minutes and 29 seconds. On to number 4, we have the first American car on this list with the Cadillac CT5V Blackwing. The Blackwing is the first car on this list to crack 200, as it tops out at just a fraction over that mark, and I was fairly surprised to see Cadillac this high on the list, and this is another one that's a decent bargain, starting at 84,000. It has the largest and most powerful engine so far, with a 6.2 liter supercharged V8 putting out 668 horsepower, and it gets to 60 in 3.4 seconds. Although it hasn't been tested at the Nürburgring, it did complete the lightning lap just 0.2 of a second slower than the AMG GT, and that car is more than twice the price. Coming in at number 3 is the second entry from Stellantis with the Maserati Ghibli Trofeo. The Trofeo has a 203 mile per hour top speed, while the base Ghibli is a mockery of a Maserati and puts out just 345 horsepower from a V6. The Trofeo trim ups that to 580 horsepower out of a 3.8 liter twin turbo V8. Acceleration is not its specialty, as it takes 3.7 seconds to get to 60, and the high top speed is really the only reason you should get this car. At number 2, we go back to BMW BMW, although it's by way of Alpina with the Alpina B7, which tops out at 205 miles per hour. Yes, this is tuned by an outside company, but you can actually order the Alpinas directly through BMW, and it is somewhat of a trim level now, so I decided to just keep it on this list. It's similar to how AMG used to be a completely separate company, but now it's just considered to be sort of a brand within Mercedes. The 7 Series is obviously very luxurious on the inside already, although Alpina adds some more cosmetic touches on the inside and outside. I do particularly like the Alpina rims that are on all of the Alpina BMWs. And it takes the 7 Series' 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 up to 600 horsepower and unlocks a top speed of 205 miles per hour. The B7 gets to 60 in 3.2 seconds, which isn't the quickest on this list, but keep in mind that the 7 Series is much heavier than most of the other options. And finally, at number 1, we have the Bentley Flying Spur Mulliner with a top speed of 207 miles per hour. This one was the biggest surprise for me, especially at being at number 1. The Mulliner trim of the Flying Spur comes with a 6.0 liter W12 engine that produces 626 horsepower and gets the Flying Spur to 60 in 3.7 seconds, which is pretty good for a car that weighs almost 5,400 pounds, or about as much as a Chevy Tahoe. The Mulliner closes in on the $300,000 mark, but it is definitely the perfect mix of luxury and performance for the price. So that's it for this list of the top 10 fastest sedans right now in 2022. Let me know what you think about these cars and what you think about these top 10 or just list videos in general. Is this something I should keep doing? Because I could definitely do more of these in the future. So let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.